You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
This morning, a local school teacher's aide is off the job. The student accusations that sparked a sheriff's investigation.
And police hope you can help recognize the man in this video. They need help finding the prowling gym plunderer. We're going to tell you what he's accused of.
And decades later, the body count is still climbing in California. New charges against the suspected Golden State Killer. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning, 5 o'clock Friday. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up this morning. We do have those stories for you, but first, we do need to get right to breaking news in Sarasota. Right now, police are looking for a shooter that sent one person to the hospital earlier this morning.
The shooting happened on Martin Luther King Way and Pershing about 1:40 a.m. Marla Spence is live at the Sarasota Hospital where the victim is now receiving treatment. Marla?
Good morning, guys. Yes, we are following breaking news from overnight this morning. One man who has not been identified is currently here at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. And like you guys said, he was shot on MLK Way and Pershing Avenue in the Newtown area. Now we're being told that man was just standing outside in that area, and that's when he was shot. And that's when police arrived, and he was taken right here to Sarasota Memorial Hospital. Now a crime scene unit just pulled away from the hospital not too long ago. So far, no arrests have been made, and police say the shooter is on the run and is on the loose. Sarasota police are actively looking for that shooter in this crime. They say anybody with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers. And you guys, this is just the second shooting so far this week that has happened in that area, making it the 15th shooting so far in Newtown this year. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Now here's John Scalzi.
Yeah, I've gone and done it now. I've made Mother's Day a first alert weather day.
Oh, nice going.
I'm sorry, had to do it. We have some showers and thunderstorms coming our way over the weekend, and some of them could produce some fairly heavy rainfall. We have some cloud cover across the region today. Today, I don't think we'll see anything in the way of rain, but we will see, I think, some intermittent clouds that'll at times give that sky kind of a hazy appearance like we saw yesterday. Yesterday we got up to about 88 degrees. I think we'll do the same thing again today. Maybe a little more sunshine today than yesterday. Titan radar not showing any rainfall across the region. Local temperatures coming in about where they were yesterday. 67 degrees in Bradenton, Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch. 71 in Longboat Key. 68 in Venice and Inglewood. Top it out today with a daytime high temperature that'll be around 88 degrees. And as we head into the afternoon, it's kind of a sun-cloud mix, we'll call it. We start to cloud up a little bit tomorrow. Humidity begins to return, and then things change on Sunday. We'll talk all about that coming up in just a few.
All right, it's a deal. Talk to you soon. Checking the traffic right now. First off, in Manatee County, nothing to report. Crystal clear conditions right now at 503. Checking farther south in the roads in the northern half of Sarasota County. Little issue there in the westbound lane of Bee Ridge Road as you get toward Honore and past Kettleman. Otherwise clear in that section of our viewing area. And then farther south, we'll check those maps and see a little buildup on 681 as you get off 75 and head toward Nokomis. We'll check on that in about 15 minutes. In the meantime, there are other issues to talk to you about starting today. The eastbound lane on 30th Avenue East in Manatee County will be closed. Now here's a map of that. Closed from 14th to 15th Street East. A half-block detour will take you right on 14th Street East, then left on 32nd Avenue East, which will then drop you back onto 15th Street East, if you're still with me. For the next 2 weeks, the street will be blocked during business hours on weekdays.
Well, caught on camera, a man swiping keys from a gym locker room, then stealing about $1,500 worth of things from the victim's car. St. Pete police posted this surveillance video on their social media, hoping to identify the guy who they're calling the prowling gym plunderer. According to police, he also used stolen credit cards to spend hundreds of dollars in a nearby store.
A worker at a Sarasota elementary school is on paid leave this morning after some students say the aide was involved in inappropriate behavior. The teacher's aide at Ashton Elementary was accused by at least 2 students. No word yet what the aide might have done or didn't do. We have reaction now from a former student and a parent.
It's really scary to think that a child like that, especially at that young age, could possibly even be exposed to something so, wrong.
If these accusations are true, the sheriff's office, we have faith in the system. They'll be able to do something to, to prosecute to the fullest and to prevent this from happening in the future.
So for now, the teacher is off the job, teacher's aide rather, and an investigation is underway by the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office.
4 more counts of first-degree murder. That is the latest twist in the case of the suspected Golden State Killer. 72-year-old Joseph James D'Angelo was arrested last month, formally charged with 8 murders. Now, police believe that the Golden State Killer was responsible for killing about a dozen people and for at least 50 rapes in California back in the mid-70s and 80s. Yesterday, he was charged with 4 more counts of murder.
Each of the 4 counts carries multiple allegations. Each of the 4 counts carry the potential for a sentence of life without possibility of parole or the death sentence.
D'Angelo has not yet entered a plea on any of the charges so far. His defense attorney is also fighting to keep all the evidence files and arrest warrants sealed. They feel that releasing it all now would taint a potential jury pool in the future.
5:06 right now. Back in this area, the most popular public transit route in Sarasota County is on track for more permanent funding. Federal, state, and county funding will protect the year-old Siesta Breeze trolley. It goes up and down on Siesta Key from the Village to Turtle Beach and back. The trolley had 250,000 riders the first 13 months alone.
And some changes to tell you about today for a local high school graduation. The Booker High School graduation will take place at the Van Wezel Performing Arts Center on May 17th, starting at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, this year's space is limited, so each graduate's going to be receiving 5 tickets for their guests. Now, if you can't make it or can't get a ticket, this year's graduation ceremony will be live streamed on the official Booker High School Facebook page. That live streaming will begin at 4:45 that afternoon. Ray?
Well, all this week we're profiling some of the area cancer survivors helped by Dick Vitale in his annual fundraising gala, which is tonight at the Ritz-Carlton. Today, we're meeting Erin Kizalewski of Sarasota. She had a rare form of leukemia when she was just 2 years old. She says she put Play-Doh on her head back then to make up for a lack of hair. And now look at her, she's fine. She goes to University of South Florida, wants to get her doctorate in zoology. Erin says going through 2.5 years of chemotherapy changed her forever. We sat down for brunch and talked about the early lessons she received.
It makes me have more of an appreciation for life because I know how fragile it can be and just how quickly it can be taken away, because in the hospital, when I was there for treatment, we made friends with a lot of the families, but unfortunately, a lot of the families' kids didn't make it through treatment, so you kind of understand just how fragile life can be.
Erin has attended the Vitale Gala in the past. We've talked to her and her family along the way. She says she enjoys bonding with other cancer survivors at this event. Organizers hope tonight's event will raise $3.5 million. We'll have live reports tonight at 5, 5:30, and 6 from the Sarasota Ritz-Carlton. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, a baby in distress on the side of the road. How a Florida deputy jumped into action to save the boy's life.
And coming up a little later in the hour, are dangerous boaters threatening the lives at one Suncoast hotspot? We're going to tell you just where one group is calling for a crackdown on speeding. We'll have that story in just a few. But first, let's head live right now to Capitol Hill. There is the beautiful rotunda this morning, waking up lots of activity going on there this week with all the developments from North Korea and politics that are going on, all of which we'll have updates for you within the next half hour.
Oh, yeah, busy time there. Let's get the local scene now from John Scalzi.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice start to the day. I think a lot of cloud cover around, yes, but nevertheless, there won't be any rainfall. As the kids head out to the bus stop, they'll look for a temperature of about 70 degrees, and then on the way home about 88. A little bit more humid today, perhaps, but at least no rainfall. 10 out of 10 chance of an outside recess, sun, cloud, mix, dry afternoon, and temperature in the upper 80s. We'll talk about the weekend forecast in just a second.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Planning a Carnival Fantasy Cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night, or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night, and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So today I think will be kind of similar to yesterday. We'll see a fair amount of cloud cover around. We'll also see holes in those clouds that'll allow the daytime heating to take us up into temperatures that'll be well above average. Despite the cloud cover, I don't think we're going to see any rainfall today. It'll be a dry day, but you will notice a little extra humidity in the air, I think. You're already probably noticing that if you've stepped outside this morning. A little bit more humid. Now that humidity, I think, is going to spike over the course of the weekend. That's what we'll discuss in detail in a second. 67 degrees by 7 o'clock, 85 degrees by 12 noon. As I mentioned, a mix of sun and clouds, but still enough sunshine to boost our temperature up to about 88 for a daytime high, about where we were yesterday. And we go through the evening with rain-free skies as we head into the sunset period, probably around 82 degrees or so. 67, the current air temperature. We have a dew point value in the 60s at 62. Southeast wind coming in at 3. I think it's going to be a pretty nice day today, actually. Not much in the way of rain chance around, but boy, you can see the clouds are starting to thicken up across the peninsula. We're sort of on the cusp of the division between the drier air, which remains just to our north, and this cloud cover, and the deep tropical moisture, which exists down to our south. Now, here's the weekend forecast. As we head into the weekend, this dry air that you see located just to the north, that's going to retreat further and further away from us. And the moisture that you see down around the Florida Straits will continue to lift northward. There's a trough of low pressure down there, and as we progress through time, the amount of moisture available to produce rainfall will continue to kind of lift northward. So that by the time we hit Sunday, we'll have a pretty good chance of seeing showers and thunderstorms. In fact, some of the computer models are suggesting at times on Sunday we could see periods of some heavier rainfall, even thunderstorm activity that could lead to better than an inch, maybe in some cases better than 2 inches of rainfall in certain places. And I think as opposed to just seeing a quick afternoon shower or thunderstorm around, as we might do in the summer, I think it could be starting early on in the afternoon and then have intermittent rain showers throughout the afternoon into the evening. So we'll watch that humidity continue to hang around and stay with us probably through Wednesday, maybe longer. So we get a kind of an extended period of good chances of rainfall. Weather highlights will show you high pressure to our north and a trough of low pressure down to the south kind of exchange places. So we've enjoyed that high pressure ridge, but it will retreat out into the Atlantic, and that trough will lift northward. As that happens, our warm and dry conditions today give way to the Sunday rains and a humid weekend. We'll watch the Futurecast show those showers actually becoming fairly widespread by Saturday in South Florida, and then by Sunday across Central Florida with some pockets of some heavier rainfall. And lingering right through Sunday evening and then on into Monday as a broad upper-level circulation gives way to a nice long trough across the state. Some rainfall forecasts are pretty aggressive in bringing at times some heavier rainfall to some parts of central or past south central Florida, perhaps in the over 2-inch category. So we'll wait. We'll see how that evolves. Of course, we still have several days yet before this happens, so there's hopefully some time to put a little more sunshine in the forecast. But I'll tell you, the computer models are going toward a wetter and wetter forecast. 10:48 high tide, low tide comes at 5:43, and your forecast looks like this. Today, 88, mix of sun and clouds. Showers coming in probably late on Sunday. You might have a few showers, or Saturday, you might have a few showers. I think basically Saturday's going to be okay, just a little more humid. Mother's Day, 70% chance of rainfall. I'll go ahead and call the first alert weather day. It's Mother's Day, so it could spoil some of your outside activities with those showers in the afternoon. Possibly. You might have to make an alternative plan. And then as we head into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even Thursday of next week, got a chance of rain showers each and every day. So hopefully some of those drought indexes will come down just a little bit as we head into next weekend. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic out there this morning. Not too bad so far on those roadways. It's still pretty early in the morning where we don't have a lot of delays. Manatee County still running pretty good around this time in the morning. If we're heading into the top half of Sarasota County, those roads are pretty decent. There is one little blip right there on 41 as it comes by 301. Some delays and some construction in that area to tell you about. But nothing too much else going on in this area. If you're going to head a little bit farther in the south, if you're heading out the door in the next half an hour or so and heading towards the Port Charlotte area, 75 and 41 south are both running very smooth. It is 5:17, and that's first alert traffic. And caught on camera, a Florida deputy's dashboard camera was rolling earlier this week and captured his efforts to save the life of a baby. K-9 deputy Jeremy Nix was headed home on Wednesday in Ocala when a passing driver flagged him down. Now you can see in the video, woman, she's already jumped out of her car. She's got her baby in her arms. 3-month-old little Kingston was unresponsive at the time, so the deputy tried several life-saving measures right there on the side of the road. Now, when those didn't work, the deputy rushed the baby and his mom to the hospital in a squad car. Doctors said the baby is going to be making a full recovery. Deputy Nix even posed for a picture later on with a much better doing baby Kingston in his arms.
Good ending there. Happening today, a second launch attempt for a new SpaceX rocket. The rocket was supposed to take off yesterday, but SpaceX scrubbed the launch after something triggered an automatic abort command at the last second. SpaceX ran tests and concluded the rocket is ready for a second attempt this afternoon. The company's newest and most powerful version of the Falcon 9 rocket will take a satellite into space, but the company hopes the Falcon 9 will eventually have U.S. astronauts on board as well.
Well, with summer vacation right around the corner, you might be tempted to start cashing in some of those credit card points or miles to help pay for the trip. But is that a good move? ABC's Marcy Gonzalez talks to the experts about how to get the most out of those rewards travel.
Points, miles, free nights. Whether you've been saving up all those travel rewards or are new to the game, experts say if you're strategic, they could be key to a dream vacation at a fraction of the cost.
If you've got points, you know, the world is your oyster.
First, you gotta get those points. Brian Kelly, known as the Points Guy, has traveled the world by cashing in his rewards. He says to start, sign up with loyalty programs for the airlines, hotel chains, and rental car companies you use the most. Next, do your homework in choosing a credit card that'll give you the most perks. Don't just go with those in-flight or airport offers.
Sometimes the best credit card deals are sent snail mail, you know, so always open your mail from your credit card company. They offer targeted offers only available to you.
He says avoid those offers to buy miles when you book or check in for a flight. Instead, earn extra points using shopping portals.
Simply a website that you go to, you enter your frequent flyer number, and then whenever you click through to retailers, you can earn 1, 2, 3, or to 30 miles per dollar spent at certain retailers. So for stuff that you're going to buy anyway.
And when it's finally time to book that trip, where you go matters. Kelly suggests using Google Flights to search for the best low-cost destinations. And ABC's travel and lifestyle editor Genevieve Shaw-Brown suggests considering the Caribbean for some timely deals.
The places that were affected by Hurricanes Irma and Maria are in the process of recovering and hoping to draw back tourists by offering great discounts on hotel rooms and package tours.
She says you can also save depending on when you book. Analysts found that for the best prices, make your flight reservations 47 days before your departure. In Hilo, Hawaii, Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News.
In other consumer news, most of you either own a car or lease a car, but now there's a third option for you. How about a car subscription? Yeah, car subscription services are popping up nationwide. The services usually require you to pay a startup fee and a monthly fee based on the program and the car you select. Some services will let you switch cars frequently. One downside, it may not be the cheapest option, so experts say crunch the numbers and read the fine print. Another industry disruptor on the way to car dealerships.
That is right. All these new options that you have out there.
Yeah.
Well, help me. Can I subscribe to a Lamborghini?
Give it a shot.
Okay, I'm going to work on that. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, a panda cub takes a big old tumble at the National Zoo in Washington. We're going to show you the pandemonium live. It's coming straight ahead. You're welcome, Ray.
Very clever. She wrote that, folks. And a popular streaming service takes a hard line on music with hateful lyrics. That story is part of this morning's Tech Bite report.
And at 5:30, breaking overnight news, a shooting in Sarasota. Stick around. We have those stories and more when we come back. But first, we're going to take you right to New York.
Oh, a pretty shot where day is breaking there on Ellis Island, the Statue of Liberty. Beautiful shot there. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Welcome back. It is 5:23. I bet you didn't know that even pandas can have a bad day. Check this out. 2-year-old giant panda was literally out on a limb at the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. this week. All of a sudden, he immediately regretted that giant pizza they ate at lunch. The branch gives way, and little baby, he tumbled to the ground below, but he's going to try it again. Cause some pandemonium. You're welcome, Ray.
Thank you.
Watch this. No worries, though. Caretakers say pandas are built to withstand falls like that. Oh. In fact, the little guy got right back up. He climbed back out and went on another limb. So little baby is okay this morning.
Who hasn't had days like that?
Right? Every day sometimes. Well, Spotify, the music streaming giant, is changing the game when it comes to hate lyrics in music.
That story in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bite, Spotify's new policy on hateful conduct.
The service has pulled R. Kelly's music from its playlist, refusing to promote the R&B singer after announcing that new policy. Kelly has faced allegations of sexually abusing women. He's also the target of a new campaign, #MuteRKelly. His management says Spotify is acting on false and unproven allegations. The first Rolls-Royce SUV comes with a high price and a lot of technology.
4 cameras show the drivers what's outside the vehicle. There are 5 USB ports, a Wi-Fi hotspot, and wireless charging. Price tag, $325,000. And finally, some dogs at a daycare center in Ohio are being credited with taking a picture that looks a lot like an epic selfie. A human actually snapped the image, but it looks like the dog is taking a selfie with his friends in the background.
It's being compared to that epic Oscars selfie taken 4 years ago.
And those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Walgreens.
At Walgreens, helping millions of children here at home and around the world starts with one person. You. This Red Nose Day, stop by Walgreens and help end child poverty. One nose at a time. Because every one counts. Walgreens, trusted since 1901.
Here's what I want for Charlie's food. Wholesome ingredients. Real meat first. No chicken or poultry byproduct meals. No corn, wheat, or soy. When you add it all up, there's only one choice for me. Wholesome and healthy Blue Buffalo.
This weekend at Kohl's, give Mom the perfect gift and get Kohl's Cash. Give her Adidas sneakers or diamond earrings and get Kohl's Cash. Give her the new Fitbit and you'll get $40 Kohl's Cash. Plus, shop other great gifts store-wide. The more you spend, the more you save. Kohl's.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with a family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Every week on Animal Outtakes, it's a new animal adventure. They aren't your ordinary dog. These dogs, you could say, are superheroes. They are trained as guide dogs, helping individuals that are visually impaired.
We trained in revolving doors, we trained in escalators and elevators, all kind of stuff, and he's just a rock star.
We're visiting the Southeastern Guide Dog campus to see how these tiny puppies get trained to become life-changing dogs.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Get breaking news, plus first alert weather and traffic focused on where you live. Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
President Trump taking a victory lap during a rally in Indiana, the policies that he discussed and what it means moving forward with relations with North Korea.
New developments of a firefighter's plan to walk all the way from Key West to Tallahassee, what he's raising awareness for. And caught on camera, an officer being praised for his quick decision-making skills, how he was able to save a baby's life. Those stories and John's forecast now on Good Morning Suncoast. 5:30 now, Friday morning. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up this morning with us. We want to get right to the big news of the day. We've been following some breaking news overnight. Right now, one person is in the hospital this morning after being shot in Newtown.
The shooting happened on Martin Luther King Way and Pershing Avenue about 1:40 a.m. There's a map for you. Marla Spence is live at the Sarasota Hospital where the victim is receiving treatment. Marla.
Yeah, guys, that victim who has not been identified yet is here at Sarasota Memorial Hospital recovering after being shot outside MLK Way and Pershing Avenue in Newtown. Right now, Sarasota police are looking for the person or the people responsible for shooting that man. And so far, there's no word on who that suspect is, and it's unknown who that person is, but this is something that Sarasota police is working on. Now, earlier this morning, a crime scene unit was here outside the surgery center at SMH. The unit is no longer on scene this morning. So far, we're told the victim who is here at SMH has none life-threatening injuries. We are continuing to wait for more information to be released in this shooting investigation. And once we find out more information, we will bring you the latest. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right. Thank you, Marla.
You might enjoy today, but John Scalzi says the weather is going downhill by Sunday. Kind sir?
Yeah, it kind of is.
You feel guilty, don't you?
I do. No, I do, because it's Mother's Day, right? You want to be able to have a great day on Mother's Day, and you will. You just might have to have it inside. We're looking at a little extra chance of rainfall coming into the forecast by Sunday. Cloud cover around today. No rainfall today, though. It's going to be a dry day, dry afternoon. Titan radar right now not showing a drop of rain falling anywhere. So as we head into the, probably the second half of the day, you know, we might catch a little bit of heating that'll take us up to about where we were yesterday, 88 degrees. That's still above average, and our temperatures right now are running just about exactly where they did yesterday. 67 degrees in Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch at 67, Sarasota at 67, Venice at 68, so's Inglewood. The day planner calls for a daytime high that tops out similar to yesterday, as I mentioned, around 88 degrees. Mix of sun and clouds today, no rain in the forecast, but, yep, we got some changes coming our way over the weekend. I've declared Sunday a first alert weather day. We'll talk about that coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon, John. Let's check the roads right now. First off, in Manatee County, nothing in the red so far. We'll track that, though, every 15 minutes. Checking farther south. Looks like the only congestion spot we see is on Bee Ridge Road in the eastbound lane as you travel between Tuttle and Beneva. And then checking farther south on the maps, we'll see a little red down there at the county line between Sarasota and Charlotte in both directions along US 41. President Trump campaigned last night in Indiana, and he talked about the return of 3 American detainees from North Korea.
Now, that rally happened as news broke that the president lashed out at his Homeland Security Secretary at a recent cabinet meeting. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest from Washington.
President Trump on a tear in Indiana.
We are rocking. We are rocking.
Rallying supporters, praising the work of his administration to bring home those 3 Americans detained in North Korea.
Kim Jong-un did a great service to himself, to his country by doing this. But those hostages came out with respect. We didn't pay for them.
The president called his relationship with dictator Kim Jong-un good ahead of their summit, tweeting a save the date earlier in the day, Singapore, June 12th.
You remember everybody in the fake news where they were saying, he's going to get us into a nuclear war.
The campaign rally came hours after a New York Times report that the president berated Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen Wednesday during a cabinet meeting. A source tells ABC News the president was angry she hasn't done enough to secure the country's borders. The tongue lashing so bad, the Times reports Nielsen drafted a resignation letter. A Homeland Security spokesman denied Nilsen tried to quit. Nilsen said in a statement on the immigration battle, the president is rightly frustrated about existing loopholes and the lack of congressional action. I share his frustration. The White House did not deny the report, but said the president is committed to fixing the broken immigration system and porous borders. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Back in this area, the clock is ticking now on the Sarasota County School District. They have 3 months till August to hire their own police chief and officers to patrol 21 elementary schools. The district decided to form their own police force after local law enforcement agencies said they wouldn't cover the cost of extra school resource officers. The district hopes to hire a new chief and 3 sergeants by early July, but the deputy positions have yet to be advertised pending school board approval next week. Those deputies will likely be straight from the academy or experienced officers close to retirement. One local chief says this can be a very lengthy process.
Start to finish, from finding an acceptable applicant to him or her being in a patrol car alone, patrolling and doing police duties, might be 9 months or more.
We're on the clock. August 13th will be here before we know it, and we want a functional department that serves our schools on that date.
The district plans to keep the existing school resource officers in their middle and high schools for 1 more year. They'll eventually need to hire over 50 new employees to complete the new state-mandated department.
Step by step, hoping to bring attention to the risks that first responders face every day. Some new developments this morning of firefighters' plan to walk all the way from Key West to Tallahassee. Tom Hill, a retired firefighter from Orlando, finally made it to Tallahassee yesterday. Hill, of course, is trying to draw attention to a bill that will give more benefits to first responders who suffer from cancer.
The state doesn't provide, even though these firemen are every day, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Every time a call comes in, you go out. It doesn't matter who it is.
According to the CDC, firefighters have an increased risk of developing cancer compared to the general population.
There's a small island between Longboat Key and Coquina Beach called Jewfish Key, and some who live near it say passing boats are going way too fast. Residents say when boats speed through that no-wake zone, it becomes dangerous. In addition to heavy traffic, they're saying boaters speeding through narrow channels and blind corners put people's lives at danger and animals at risk as well.
It's a protected area for dolphins and manatees. They're known to congregate around Jewfish, and people just completely disregard the signs.
Nearby residents plan to record video of these speeding boats to show to police.
114 years old. The oldest person living right now in the country died in Pennsylvania. Born back in 1903, Delphine Gibson made it all the way to 114. Now, she was born in South Carolina. She later moved to Pennsylvania, where she lived for more than 90 years. The governor of Pennsylvania even tweeted his condolences, calling Gibson an incredible Pennsylvanian. Now, Gibson has given interviews over the years, and she says that her long life came from good food, good faith, and her church family. Now, in her place, there is a 113-year-old Ohio woman that is now officially the oldest in the country.
5:38 right now, still ahead. High praise for an officer who saved a baby's life, and the whole thing was caught on his dashboard camera.
And a feel-good Friday story for you this morning. How volunteers were able to help save an endangered turtle and nurse it back to health. But first, oh, sorry, go ahead, Ray.
Live shot
Your
of
favorite
the
place.
White House. The light is on in the kitchen in the top right corner. President Trump back from Indiana. He was there last night. The flag is up, which means the president is inside the White House.
That is correct. It's another beautiful day. They're actually having some good weather this week, but I know we've got a little crunch in our weekend weather, right, John Scalzi?
Yeah, we do. Today looks good, though. The forecast calls for 73 by 9 a.m., by 12 noon, 85, and 88 by 3. But things will change as we head into the weekend, I'm afraid. And the first alert weather day is called on Sunday. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. No rain, no fog, no wind. We do have temps, but they're not a danger to us today in your drive time forecast. Everything looks good for your commute. Upper 60s to low 70s as you head out the door, and then when you return, we'll look for temperatures in the upper 80s. And all airport hubs serving Sarasota International running on time, according to the FAA. That weekend forecast in a minute.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, as we wind up this Hurricane Preparedness Week, today we're going to talk about an extremely important subject, helping your neighbor. It's often the first response that we get in a neighborhood after a disaster has occurred. That is the kindness, the help, and the training that your neighbors have taken so that they can be there even before first responders arrive. Learn CPR if you can, and develop a CERT program. If you've never heard of CERT, very important program. One of our communities has hundreds of local residents that have taken this CERT program so that they can learn emergency response, can coordinate together to act as a team and help their neighborhood in the event of an emergency. And they have one of the strongest groups in the whole state of Florida. It's a great organization, and you can become a member and you can take the training just by contacting emergency management and develop a program in your neighborhood. I put those links to our emergency managers and to the CERT program on my Facebook page, John Scalzi ABC7. Check it out, share it with your neighbors, And maybe you too could develop a CERT program in your neighborhood, which really could be a lifesaver after an emergency. Not only just a hurricane, but any kind of an emergency in the neighborhood. 73 degrees at 9 a.m. to 85 degrees as we head into the noontime hour, 88 at top out temperature, and then as we head into the evening, about 82. Right now we're at 67 with a dew point of 62. Slightly higher dew points this morning, making it feel just a little bit more humid outside. Southeast wind, boom. That's key to the forecast over the course of the next several days as winds shift from the northeast, which we've been enjoying for days, to the southeast. The humidity returns, and eventually a little disturbance down to our south will lift northward under those southeast winds and bring us good rain chances on Mother's Day. So we're looking at a little bit of cloud cover, of course, across the region, but we're also seeing some deep tropical moisture down here along the Florida Straits and into the Atlantic. This dry air indicated by tan in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, it retreats. As it retreats, the moisture lifts northward, and our futurecast shows, well, a little trough of low pressure lifting forward as well, which will really enhance rainfall chances onto Sunday. So warm and dry today. We'll look for those Sunday rains, and it will also be very humid over the weekend. By the time we get to Sunday, Saturday looks good, by the way, maybe some showers at night, but Sunday, the rains could start early. Maybe around 9, 10 o'clock, we could see a sprinkle or two. By around noontime, we could see some stronger or more prolonged showers. And then in the afternoon, maybe even a thunderstorm or two across the region, leading to rainfall totals that exceed an inch. Maybe in some pockets, somewhere across South Florida or Central Florida, we could get some 2-inch rainfalls under some of the thunderstorms. It's too early to tell exactly who's going to get what rainfall, but certainly that potential exists. And the rain chance has gone up a little bit over the last 24 hours as computer models come into agreement on this rainy scenario. Northwest wind at 10 knots this evening, becoming north at about 10. Nice day for boating. Light chop, 2-foot seas or less. 88 our daytime high today. Tomorrow, good day. It's not a problem here. A little bit more humid, but late in the day, maybe after sunset even, about a 20% chance of a shower sprinkle. Then on Sunday, we cloud up. The humidity really returns. It'll be humid. And then maybe a 70% chance of rainfall in the afternoon. That rain chance continues on through the beginning and middle of next work week. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic. We're going to start in Sarasota today, switching things up a little bit. Starting to see some slowdowns, a couple delays right there on University Parkway, which is pretty normal. Now, 41 going into town is also running a little bit smoother than it was earlier, so those roads are running pretty clear. A little bit farther in Sarasota, those roads aren't looking too bad either. If your commute is taking you anywhere near Northport or Port Charlotte or any of those areas, if you're headed out the door within the next 30 minutes or so, your commute will be an easy one. 547, that's your first alert traffic. A Central Florida deputy is getting praise for saving a 3-month-old baby's life.
And the whole thing was caught on his dashboard camera. Reporter Greg Fox has the story from Marion County.
Rush up today since he's doing so good.
This is some of the first video of Kingston Crowell as he recovers at Shands Hospital after his frantic rescue by a deputy.
Kingston and I are going to be buddies for a long time.
Jay Nix was on patrol when the Marion County Sheriff's deputy saw and heard Kingston's mother and sister yelling for help at an intersection near Ocala.
My sister screamed, "There's the officer. We need to stop and get him because we can't get through the traffic."
Kingston had stopped breathing, and you can see on dash cam video Deputy Nix rushing over to give the 4-month-old CPR.
I just kind of panicked and started crying. I was like, "Is he okay? Just tell me he's breathing."
Deputy Nix tried and tried, but determined he just could not revive the child. So, figuring he was close to Ocala Regional Medical Center, he put Kingston in the car and took off.
I'm not waiting on medics. I'm off the RMC. I'm headed to their emergency room with the baby. Gave the kid his first police pursuit ride.
A ride that took less than a minute to Ocala Regional, and one that put Kingston in the hands of doctors and nurses who later credited the deputy with saving Kingston's life.
I'm thanking God, and I'm grateful. And so I want the world to know that he's amazing. He's a hero in my book, whether he's a hero in anybody else's or not. And I'm sure when King is old enough to know the story, he'll feel like he's a hero as well.
I remember praying, thanking God, for putting me in the right place at the right time for the right reason. This was the most emotional day I've ever had in my career. It was also the scariest. It was also the most rewarding.
Well, thanks to Moat Marine Lab in Sarasota, this turtle is finally enjoying some freedom once again. Yesterday, volunteers at Moat released a young green sea turtle named Soshi back into the Gulf. About a month and a half ago, a fisherman found Soshi floating 15 miles west of Anna Maria Island, covered in some kind of yellow slime that burned her skin and eyes. Moat cleaned Soshi up and gave her some antibiotics. She is now fully recovered, and yes, in our area, green sea turtles are endangered.
If you find a turtle, you're supposed to call your local stranding network or call FWC, and then they'll decide if the turtle's actually in harm's way, and if so, it'll be transported to the nearest rehabilitation facility.
And a reminder to watch out for those sea turtle nests. They are all over our beaches right now. Nesting season runs until October 31st.
All right, here's your daily trivia. Let's get a shot now of Central Park in New York.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Look at that shot. Yeah,
that is gorgeous.
Upper East Side, Upper West Side, the park right between there. The most walked urban park in the country. 40 million annual visitors. Are you listening to this?
I'm listening.
843 acres. One of the most filmed parks in the country.
That's right, right.
Built in 1857 by Frederick Law Olmsted. He's the architect. There's your Central Park trivia.
All right. Thank you, Ray. We'll be back with a look at all your headlines right after this. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
When ABC 7 declares a First Alert Weather Day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a First Alert Weather Day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A First Alert Weather Day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Here's today's Job of the Day. ABC 7 is seeking a multimedia journalist who can tell a story on all platforms and meet tight deadlines. Reporting experience required. Visit mysuncoast.com/joboftheday to apply.
It is 5:54. Here are the stories that we've been following for you this morning.
A new legal opinion has concluded that local school districts are on the hook for extra school security, not the sheriff's office. The state is forcing schools to add school resource officers, and a report from the Florida Sheriff's Association concluded it's the schools that have to pay for this.
Plus, we've got more information for you this morning as well. Some of the resource officers out there, they're actually having to find some new ways to pay for those. We're going to have some other options that some of the different police departments will be doing.
And the NFL has reportedly agreed to meet with the Sarasota woman who was fired from the New Orleans Saints. Bailey Davis says cheerleaders are held to a higher standard than the players themselves.
And coming up in the next hour, the latest on an early morning shooting that's left one person in the hospital. Right now, investigators are searching for a suspect. And an update this morning, the shocking discovery that crews made after searching for a possible alligator attack victim in Orlando.
But first, one last check of the forecast for Friday, and John Scalzi has the details.
Yeah, it looks pretty good for us. Unlike earlier in the week when we had some problems with air quality. Now the ozone index coming in at 54. That's good. So we like that. And indications are, according to computer models, that it won't be a problem today. So take heart. If you want to head to the beaches, we're going to give it 3 out of 4 beach balls today. It's still not bad. Dry out there, but cloud cover will be on the increase. Over the weekend, changes. Take a look at the rainfall futurecast. Some places getting over an inch of rain possibly. We'll talk about the day, the timing, and just how much we can expect here on the Suncoast coming up in about 5 minutes. Back to you.
All right, see you then. Thank you, John. Next hour, we'll meet 20-year-old Erin, who lives out to Clark Road. She was one of the cancer survivors that's been profiled by us this week. Tonight's the big gala, the Dick Vitale Gala.
You're going to be a part of that, right? The Dick Vitale Gala?
Yeah, I'll be back tonight to do some live shots at 5, 5:30, and 6 from the gala at the Ritz-Carlton. They're hoping to raise a record $3.5 million in one night.
In one night, they can do it. They've been doing wonderful things, some great stories that Ray's been profiling all week. If you've missed them, you can find them at mysuncoast.com.
We leave you now with a shot outside our window at downtown Sarasota. Much more local news straight ahead on Good Morning Suncoast.